So COP28, Conference of the Parties, it's where the big nations of the world come together, the big carbon emitting nations of the world come together to work together to try and reduce climate change. Now, crucially, there are some key targets here because COP28, as the name would suggest, it's the 28th meeting of this big group of countries, and it is the biggest group of countries. It is all of the key decision makers, and there's a key turning point that happened back in 2015 where those countries got together and said, in order to be able to act on climate change, we need to keep the warming of the temperature of the Earth below that crucial 1.5 degree mark. So we hear a lot of talk about this, but since pre-industrial times, the temperature of the world has increased by an additional 1.1 degree today. It's forecast to continue to rise. Currently, it's forecast to rise above 1.5 degrees by 2050. If that happens, then the impact on the planet will be quite catastrophic. People don't realize how catastrophic that impact will be, but just a few sort of tenths of a degree will have huge impact in terms of being able to, reducing the availability of water on the planet, huge droughts, huge food shortages, probably 1 billion climate change migrants who can't live in parts of the world that become uninhabitable, increasing loss of biodiversity and causing this kind of spiral effect where actually the Earth gets warmer and warmer because climate change triggers further loss of biodiversity, which warms the oceans even further, which then creates more loss of biodiversity and continues to accelerate climate change. So there is what is an existential threat to the human race with climate change, along with loss of biodiversity. So keeping the warming of the Earth below 1.5 degrees C is absolutely critical, and the science is unequivocal on this. And currently we're not on target to meet that. So it's been 7 years since that meeting in Paris, and we've got 7 years left to 2030. And in order to be on target, we need to have halved our current emissions. Globally, we emit about 52 billion tons of CO2 or CO2 equivalent gas around the world. We need to have halved that by 2030, and we are not on track to do that. Not only have we got to achieve about another 43% reduction in the next 7 years, we've then got to be able to achieve the rest by 2050. So this is a really crucial meeting because it's a kind of reckoning. It's a kind of, are we going to deliver this? And what are the impacts if we do not deliver that? What does it mean? What do the countries of the world have to do? So it's absolutely critical. How does it relate to sustainable procurement? Really simple. This is setting the global agenda, the global target for what the world needs to do, and that flows right down to how procurement needs to respond to play its part as part of what the organization does.